Hello viewers, welcome again to my YouTube channel Inside Geography with Saad Rahoojo. As you know, we have been discussing the different topics of geography. And the topic which we have been discussing today is the agriculture system in Pakistan particularly. Nobody denies the importance of agriculture. Any country which has a fertile land, they are also always being considered a prosperous or developed countries, because agriculture has been remained the priority of the countries, because agriculture has a rich history. To start from Neolithic period, uh, from onward, agriculture has a very key role in the life of the people, because most of the people, if you look at the 21st century, people are being relying on the agriculture. So it's still the agriculture is the mainstay of most of the countries. I'll say more than half of the population of the world are being engaged directly or indirectly, or being, you can say, influenced by the agriculture. So agriculture is very important, is a key components of the economy. So if you have a if you are being blessed with the fertile or green land, it is always have an advantage. So it's going to be a very positive for your economic development. But if the countries like Pakistan, which even after 75 years of the independence, where the other sectors of economy are still not being developed, and the agriculture is being still the mainstay or the key of the economy. So it's very, I'll say, important for us to understand the situation, to understand the whole system. So if you look at the slide, I have written the title of the lecture is Agriculture System in Pakistan. So when we talk about the system, we will discuss each and everything which are being concerned to the agriculture. Means the things which are being influenced, or on which the agriculture is being dependent, or the things which influence the agriculture. So we'll, in this lecture, which is going to be very, I'll say, very interesting and very lengthy. Now, if you look at the contents of the lecture, I'm not going to finish it in one lecture. I see they all are the detailed component of the lecture. If you look at the introduction, history, or economic contribution, they all are the detailed topics. So we need to have a separate video lectures on these topics. So in this lecture, I'll go for the introduction and the background of agriculture system in Pakistan. We also see the historical performance of agriculture, how agriculture evolved and then grew in Pakistan, and what is the contribution of agriculture in the economic development of Pakistan. We also discuss the cropping seasons, how many cropping seasons are Pakistan. We also discuss which are the major crops of Pakistan and the factors which influence the agriculture of Pakistan. Then we have also agro-ecological zones, cropping patterns, water situation, and then we have challenges and opportunities. So the rest of the topics, which are like the agroecological zone, or you can say the challenges and opportunity, I'll go for the separate videos, or I'll make a separate videos on it, because these topics require more time. We need to understand, being a Pakistani, or say where you have been living in the country which has always been relying on agriculture, we must understand the whole scenario, the whole situation when it comes to the agriculture. So let's start our topic. So these are the contents of our lectures today. So we'll start from the introduction. Agriculture. Let me arrange this. Yes, so agriculture is the science. Sometimes it's been said science or art. Agriculture is the science of cultivating the soil, harvesting crops, and raising livestock, and also is a science or art of production of plants and animals useful to man and varying degree to preparation of such product for man's use and their disposal. So what does mean by agriculture is a science where you not only rear the land or you harvest the soil or prepare the soil, but at the same time you are growing the crops with the animals, with the livestock, with the domestic animals. This is also I'll say rich concept in, I'll say, most of the societies, agricultural societies, means agriculture and the livestock, domesticated animals, the animals which we keep in our homes and which we use for our own benefits. The animals which we like, we also been using not only their product but also been byproducts also. So the agriculture and livestock go hand in hand in the agriculture society. तो यहाँ पे क्या कह रहा है कि एग्रीकल्चर क्या है? एग्रीकल्चर जहाँ पे आप जमीन को तैयार करते हैं, फिर उसी जमीन पे आप फसल उगाते हैं, फिर उस फसल के साथ आप जानवर भी रखते हैं. So not only you are been using the byproduct of those animals, but at the same time you also been getting the production from the land. So agriculture provides most of world's food and fabrics. Cotton, wool, and leather, all are agriculture products. Why I was saying to you that agriculture is very important or key, because not only we are getting the food, but it's the source of fabric for ourselves. So agriculture, the product which are being directing, we are getting direct in the form of crops. But at the same time, agriculture also being the raw material for some industries which are being run on the agriculture production. So they are being also called agro-based industries. So agriculture also provided wood for the construction and paper products. So before agriculture, people were nomads searching for food, hunting wild animals and gathering wild plants. So if you look at before the agriculture, the people were nomads, they were the roamers. So they were just moving from one place to another place. The purpose was only to get the food, to find the food, and they were using that raw food for the survival, for the maintenance lives. So once they got the art of farming or the agriculture, they start to live on one place. So the idea or the concept of a family came after the learning of और द इवोल्यूशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर. तो जब इंसान ने एक जगह पे रहना शुरू किया, क्योंकि एग्रीकल्चर के लिए वंस यू डू एग्रीकल्चर ऑन एनी पर्टिकुलर प्लेस और ऑन द फील्ड, तो आपको वहाँ पे रहना पड़ेगा, आपको पानी देना पड़ेगा, उसकी देखभाल करनी पड़ेगी. तो उसकी वजह से इंसान एक जगह पे रहना शुरू किया. दे स्टार्ट टू लिव इन द ग्रुप शक्ल में रहना शुरू किया. तो यानी कि इसका क्या मकसद है कि अबाउट 11,000 years ago they gradually learned how to grow cereal and root crops and settle down a sedentary life based on the farming. तो ये क्या कह रहा है, जब इंसान ने एग्रीकल्चर को समझा और ये आर्ट सीखा, उसके बाद फैमिली के शक्ल में रहना शुरू किया इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ग्रुप्स. अदरवाइज पीपल वर स्कैटर्ड, उधर उधर रहते थे, एंड दे वर ओनली इन द सर्च ऑफ द फूड. तो जब उनको ये चीज मिली कि जाहिर बात है कि when they start to get the plenty of food in a very small area from the small land area, तो उन्होंने कहा कि why not we should stay here, why not we have a sedentary life, कि क्यों हम सिर्फ भागते रहें और घूमते रहें एक जगह से दूसरी जगह. And so they have to face the harsh climates, or there are also difficulties. So agriculture not only give you a production, but once we got the evolution, when we got the idea or art of the agriculture, our family life start to be evolved. So agriculture in Pakistan, this Pakistan located in sub-tropics within the latitudinal and longitudinal extension of 24 to 37 north and 61 to 76 east respectively. I'm not going to discuss the location of Pakistan. I have another video, a lecture video on that, so you can watch that. The country is characterized by continental type of climate with extreme variation in both daily and seasonal temperature. Agriculture and the climate, they go hand in hand. They have a very close relation. So if you talk about the the climate of Pakistan, it is a continental climate where there is a lots of variation in the daily and seasonal temperature. So dry climate dominates most parts of the country with less than 250 millimeter annual rainfall, except the northern parts where humid conditions prevail. So most parts of Pakistan, they are being experiencing dry climate, but there are very few parts of Pakistan, mostly northern areas, they have a humid condition where there is a more rainfall. The country's economy is predominantly agrarian. Our country is agriculture economy. The production system highly dependent on the irrigated water, uses 97% available water and provides over 90% of agriculture produce. So if you look at the statistic of water in the agriculture, most of the agriculture is being dependent on the water. So we use 97% of the water and get the 90% of food production. So almost it's been same. Contribution of agriculture in the economic sector. The agriculture sector contributes 21% to the national GDP and generates productive employment opportunity for 45% of country's labor force and 60% of rural population. So if you look at how much the contribution is, 21% is the national GDP, is the contribution in the economy, and it provides 45% people direct employment, and the 60% people are being directly or indirectly, people are living in rural areas, they are being connected or are being close with the agriculture sector. But uh, now I have showed it has 21%, but even though after this the contribution of the agriculture has been declined. Now I was watching one video reading somewhere where there is 18.5% of the GDP contribution of the agriculture. So agriculture has a vital role in ensuring food security, generating overall economic growth, and reducing poverty and transforming land towards industrialization. So agriculture has a different roles. It's not only provide you food but generate economic activity. They also been reducing the poverty. Minor negative trends in productivity affect significantly the livelihoods and incomes of people, and consequently increase food insecurity. So if something happens, any negatives happens with agriculture, it has significant impact over the lives of the people, because people are being directly dependent, especially the rural economies, they are being dependent on agriculture. Agriculture's share in GDP has declined since 1950, falling from 48% in 1950, 49-50 to 19.8% in 2016-17. So look at the contribution of agriculture has been declined with the time. So at the time of independence in 1950, in that area, in that time, it was almost 48%, but now in 2016 and 17, it is 20%, 19.8%. Decline of agriculture and shrinking livelihood opportunity have resulted in rising poverty in rural areas of the country. So it has also been a direct impact on the poverty. So this is the agriculture sector growth or GDP over 60 years. So look at in 1950s, we have a 47% GDP share. In 1960, this is the growth, 1.8% agriculture growth. In 1960, we have 5.1 agriculture growth in percentage and 45% GDP share. 1970s, we have 2.4% agriculture growth per year, and 38.9. So the growth has been also been increased and now has been declining. But it depends. So this area, so this time period where 60s and 70s, where it was a government's efforts and some green revolution impacts that they increase the growth of the agriculture. They improve the contribution of the agriculture. So we'll go further. So the growth of a rate of agriculture over the year has been unpredictable. Pakistan's agriculture growth is unpredictable. Even if you look at from 50s up to 2020, you will see every year we have a fluctuation, variation in the growth of agriculture. Sometimes it's go to 44.5, 3.5, 3.2, something 2, and sometimes also less than 1%. So the lowest growth of 1.8 was recorded in 1950 decade. Later in the decades of 1960, the growth rate is increased significantly with 5.2% due to the green revolution application. So the agriculture were more mechanized, where the modern tools were used, modern methods and techniques were used to get maximum production from the land. So it was called the Green Revolution, and there different fertilizers was used. At a major water reservoir, Mangala Dam, was also developed, which helped bring more area under. At that time, not only Green Revolution, but we also went for the some water reservoir where we can store the water. One of them was the Mangala Dam. So link canals were constructed for supplying irrigation water to the command areas. So we also had the network of canals, link canals, and we connected them to supply the water to different part of the country. तो उसका भी हमें बड़ा फायदा हुआ क्योंकि हमने पानी पहुंचाया बहुत सारी जगहों. In 1970s, the growth rate fell to 2.4 due to the administrative negligence and inefficient implementation of agriculture policy. So again, in 1970s, we have 2.4% agriculture growth because there was certain negligence on the part of government and also some policies which could not help the agriculture. So again, in 1980s, the agriculture growth uplift to 4.5 due to government policies, stability in domestic farm prices per at global rates. So the government gave the incentives to the poor people, to the farmers especially, and they reduced the prices of agriculture tools which are used there. So however, from 1990s onward 2000, the growth rate has continuously dropped from 4.4% in 90s to 3.2% in 2000. So after 90s, the growth rate has been declining. So the GDP share of agriculture sector to the economy has also declined considerably over the year from 47.7% in 1960s to 22% in 2000. So look at how much the percentage being declined or reduced with the time. So factors could be different. Sometimes the government policies, sometimes the climate change also have effect, and also the water situation has also been affected, and also the shifting from agriculture to industry or the other sector of the economy. So it has always been. So this is the growth of percentage in agriculture in 50s in GDP share. So you can see the share are also being declined with the time. It was 32.9 in 85, and it is now 20 in 2010 and 11. So look at the major crops. They also sometimes have a negative trend. So minor crops. So we also see these major and minor crops. So Pakistan ranks 8th in the world in farm out production. This statistic is very interesting and important to understand that Pakistan ranks 8th in world's crop production, you can say. So if you look at the major crops, Pakistan always in top 10 countries, which has been producing different crops. It is one of the world's largest producer and suppliers of food and crops. So Pakistan not only produce the crops, but also same time as the fruits also. So chickpeas, in terms of chickpeas, Pakistan number 3rd. In apricot, Pakistan number 6th. In cotton, rice, mango, Pakistan number 4th. In milk, sugarcane, date palm, Pakistan number 5th. Quinoa, citrus, Pakistan number 6th, and wheat and onion, Pakistan number 7th. So look at these are all the also the major productions, crop production or so Pakistan almost there. Pakistan in top 10 countries. So it's been blessed with the land use of Pakistan. Before going to the agriculture condition or situation at the moment, we'll see how much land area has been used for the agriculture in Pakistan. So you can see this is the agricultural land map of Pakistan. This area, this particular area, most of the Punjab, and the central part of the Sindh, which is being considered used for the agriculture. Or you can say this is the main area of agriculture or fertile land where agriculture is being done. So since independence, the total land area under agriculture has been increased slightly over 46%. So at the moment we have 46% land area under the agriculture. It's been slightly increased, and not in very huge margin, but slightly increased. If you look at how much land area under the agriculture at the independence, if you look at the current situation, almost same, but very slightly been improved. So however, there has been virtual no change in total cultivable or cultivable land area since 1960 or 61. So even after 1960s, there's no change. The land area, agricultural land is same. I mean, how much land area on which we do agriculture almost same after 1960. So we even, I don't know whether we have done any effort to increase the land area after 1960s. It's very unfortunate that we haven't done anything to convert more and more land under agriculture to boost our economy. So rather than it has gone down as a proportion of reported area under from 1960 to 52%. Unfortunately, we could not able to increase after 1960s the land under the agriculture. Unfortunately, it has been decreased. So from 60 to 52%. Land is being, the land which was before was considered cultivable land now being not considered cultivable land. Issues can be anything, or waterlogging, salinity, or the change in the climate, or the cropping pattern can be any. So again, I'm telling you, this is the area which is called food basket of Pakistan, or you can say main area where the crops are being produced. This is the fertile land of Pakistan. Even the net sown area has stabilized around 15 to 16 million hectares since 1975 to 1976. The cropped area has increased from 11 million hectares in 1947 to 21 million hectares in 1950. So if you look at the cropped area has been increased in terms of production. From 1948, we had 21% hectare, and 1915 growth nearly 85% 50 years. The double crop area increased steadily from 0.5 million hectare to 6.31 million hectare during the same period, and account for all increased cropped area during the last 2 decades. So now the current total cropped area is 22.3 million hectare. This is the current land area which is under the cultivation. 22 million hectare land is considered agricultural land area. So agricultural land area has not been increased with the time, but the production is increased. So because of, you can say, some modern methods or fertilizers or different cropping patterns. This is agroecology. I'm not going to discuss these agroecological zones of Pakistan. I will have another lecture, so please stay tuned with me. I will provide you a separate lecture on that. I will make a so this is again, so now we are, this is quite lengthy because we have almost 10 to 12 areas which are agroecological land area, and which have a different climatic and physiographic conditions. So we are going to discuss in the separate lecture. So in cropping seasons, say the agriculture of Pakistan is characterized by 2 main cropping seasons, namely the Kharif, which is called the summer crops, April to September is the period, and the Rabi. So we have basically 2 cropping seasons, or sometimes say summer season and the winter season. So summer, or you can say Kharif, which start in April to September, and the Rabi, which start in October to the March. So rice, sugarcane, cotton, maize, sorghum, maize are Kharif crops, whereas wheat, gram, tobacco, barley, rape, and mustard are Rabi crops. So we'll discuss separately these all crops and their condition, production, and the area where they are being produced. So wheat, rice, cotton, and sugarcane accounts for 91% of value added in major crops. So if somebody asks you which are the major crops, so we have wheat, rice, cotton, sugarcane. These are the major crops of Pakistan. Their value addition is 91% to the economy. So they are more valuable than the minor crops. The value added in major crop accounts for 34% of value added in overall agriculture. So if you combine together all the agriculture production, these four they have a 34% value addition in the economy. So however, the 4 major crops where we have a wheat, rice, cotton, sugarcane on an average contribute 31% to the value added in agriculture, whereas the minor crops accounts only 12% of the value added in agriculture. So major crop, they have a 34%, and the minor, we have a 12%. So wheat, Wheat, which is the major rabi crop in Pakistan, it is the staple food of the people and thus occupies a central position in agriculture. Wheat is very important, very key crop in Pakistan, which is a grain food or stable food. Most of the people use this in Pakistan. So in a food culture, wheat is the main in Pakistan. So wheat contributes 13% to the value added in agriculture and 3.4% to GDP. So if you look at how much 21% contribution agriculture has a contribution the GDP, only 3.5% the contribution comes from the wheat. So wheat share of total crop area is about 40%. So if you look at the whole land area of Pakistan, on 40% land area, wheat is being carried, or the largest area under single crop. So this is the largest single crop where most land are being occupied by the wheat. So पाकिस्तान में सबसे ज्यादा जो क्रॉप किया जाता है जमीन पे, जो ज़रख़े ज़मीन होती है या काश्तकारी के लिए, वो आपका wheat है जो 40% है. So it is cultivated both irrigated and rain fed areas, being cultivated on irrigated water through the canals and also direct from the rainfall. Share of provinces, Punjab, NWP, we are not going to this. So rice is highly valued cash as well as food crop that earns substantial foreign exchange for the country. Wheat was the staple, a grain product which people are directly consuming that, while the rice is not only the food crop, but at the same time it's a cash crop for Pakistan. So we earn the foreign exchange through this crop. So Pakistan is paisa bhi kamata hai. It accounts for 5.4% of value added in agriculture and 1.3% in GDP. So wheat has 3% GDP contribution, while the rice has 1.3% in GDP. Rice share total crop it is 12%. 40% was the wheat, while the rice is 12% total cultivated area. तो जितनी पाकिस्तान की ज़मीन according to 2003-4 स्टेटिस्ट इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ऑफ पाकिस्तान 12% उस पे जमीन पे ये राइस किया जाता है. Cotton is not only export earning crop but also provides raw material to the local textile industry. So cotton, not only we export the cotton to the foreign countries, to other countries, we also same time we get, this is the raw material for the textile industry. Textile industry also being popular in Pakistan. It accounts 8.2% to the value added in agriculture, about 2% in GDP. So contribution of cotton is 2% to the GDP. Share of each province. Now sugarcane. Sugarcane is high value. Again, this is also a cash crop and significantly important for sugar and sugar related industry in the national economy. So I told you that agriculture, not only we get the direct food from the agriculture, but the agriculture production also being the raw production, raw material for the some industry. Then Pakistan a textile industry, Pakistan a sugar industry. So for the sugar and textile, these are the byproducts. So this is also a cash crop in Pakistan, significantly important for sugar and sugar-related industry in the national economy. It provides raw material for industry, which is country's second largest agro-industry sector after textile. So sugar industry is after the textile. We have a textile industry first, then we have sugar industry. Then we have a different fooder crops. Pakistan has many fooder crops. During winter rabi include, we have barsim, we have lufrin, we have oats, we have barley, we have mustard, मुख्तलिफ किस्म की दालें हैं हमारे पास. While during summer kharif these comprise maize, sorghum, millets, jowar, bajra. So these all crops are being produced in Pakistan. So Pakistan is blessed with the different soil and different climatic condition where we can grow the different uh, major and minor crops. And this is the production of important crops in 2012 we have, and then we have a in 2011-12. This is the country of sugarcane. Cotton is always in bales, while this is in million tons. So this is the contribution of maize per year. Now we discuss the cropping patterns in Pakistan. Cropping pattern is also being important. That what culture Pakistan being existing in terms of agriculture. We saw that we have a major crops. We have a two season, Rabi and Kharif, and then we have a major crops like we have cotton, rice, maize, and sugarcane. Well, see in what context these crops are being grown, which crops are being grown where. So in cropping pattern, it refers to the time and a spatial arrangement or the sequence of crop in the particular area. So we have a particular area which is called the agricultural land, area of fertile land. In what fashion, in what way these crops are being produced, are being done, are being carried. So we call that the cropping pattern. So what type of crop? Changes in cropping pattern always changes in the portion of land under particular crops or in the time and space sequence of crop. Cropping patterns are vital, determine the level of agriculture production, and the agriculture economy of area may be affected by factors such as changes. Cropping pattern always tell you about the culture of agriculture culture of that country, that which crops are being preferred. And because cropping patterns are also being carried by looking at the soil condition, climatic condition, availability of water, and some other socio-economic factors. So what is saying here? So if the something suddenly happens in cropping patterns, means there's any change in cropping patterns, that will always change in the crop production. So cropping pattern, they have been depending on agriculture policy, climate, water availability, improvement technology, availability of inputs, fertilizer. So you have been using the different technologies also. So climate, water availability, agriculture also, they also influence or determine or control the cropping pattern of any country. So typically more than one crop is grown in succession on a single field each in Pakistan. अगर पाकिस्तान में देखा जाए तो हमारे पास टिपिकली एक क्रॉप एक सीजन में एक फील्ड पे किया जाता है, यानी कि कोई अगर वीट लें तो वीट ही करते हैं एक इसमें, जनरली कॉल मल्टीपल क्रॉपिंग. And when two or more crops are grown per season, it is known as a double, triple, or quadruple cropping. So whether you are being single crop, or you are being a multi-cropping, or you are being monocropping or the multi-croppings. So monocropping means when you are doing the one crop per year on a one piece of land. Double cropping when you are doing two crops per season in a year. So we are also been having a different types of cropping patterns in Pakistan. Sometimes it depends on the availability of water, as I told you before, the types of the soil and the climate, and the physiographic condition of that area. So sometimes people only go for the single crop, somewhere they are going for the two, and sometimes they are going for the three crops. It depends on. So despite its intensity, farming in Pakistan is largely traditional or subsistence agriculture dominated by food grains. So despite its intensity, you see that we are getting more and more food production, crop production in Pakistan. But traditionally, we have a subsistence agriculture. Subsistence means हम इतना एग्रीकल्चर करते हैं जिससे हमारा सिर्फ गुजारा होता है. We don't have a surplus. या आप कह सकते हैं, if you look at the condition of the farmers or the, you can say the people who own the land or landowner, you know, their condition has been improved. You also can. So what they are being doing, they earn, they get that. So once they have been cultivating any crop, they get that crop and they earn the money or they save that crop. So यानी कि हमारे पास इतना सरप्लस नहीं है या इतना उससे पैसा नहीं आता जितना हम कह सकते हैं we become so well to कि हम अमीर हो गए. सो पाकिस्तान में जो मोस्टली जो ट्रेडिशनल फार्मिंग है वो सबसिस्टेंट फार्मिंग है. हालांकि दुनिया में दे आर मोर मैकेनाइज्ड, they go for the mono farming, जहां पे वो सिर्फ एक फार्मिंग करते हैं, एक ही, by looking at the soil condition, उस जमीन को देख के, पानी की सिचुएशन को देख के, क्लाइमेट को देख के और अपनी जरूरत को देख के वो सिर्फ एक ही क्या करते हैं कि क्रॉप करते हैं. उसके बाद वो जमीन को छोड़ देते हैं. They give space and time to the land so that land area refreshed again, ताकि वो अलग से वो एक रिफ्रेश हो जाए और दोबारा उसको दूसरे साल वो करते हैं. तो उससे क्या होता है कि they get quality of production and also high quantity of the production. तो दुनिया में इस तरह दस्तूर है, मगर क्योंकि पाकिस्तान में population ज्यादा है, we have more and more people, so that's why we have a subsistence and we go for the food grains. तो हम वो प्रोडक्शन करते हैं जिसमें ज्यादा हमें डायरेक्ट फूड मिलता है, जैसे हम व्हीट और राइस या जैसे ज्वार बाजरा, ये इस किस्म की हम ज़्यादातर फार्मिंग करते हैं, ज़्यादातर हम एग्रीकल्चर जिससे हमें डायरेक्ट उसका खाना मिले. सो वेरिएशन इन फूड ग्रेन क्रॉपिंग डिपेंड ऑन वाटर अवेलेबिलिटी, land holding size, financial status is also been depending how much you are being spending on the food, on agriculture, judgment and farmers' capability. Farmers are most likely to adopt cropping pattern that raise their incomes from relatively limited land holding. Because in Pakistan, you see, we don't have a people have a larger or bigger farm areas, so they hold small areas, small land holdings. So, पाकिस्तान में लोगों के पास छोटे छोटे यानी कि एग्रीकल्चर फील्ड्स होते हैं, इतनी बड़ी नहीं है कि उनके पास 100 एकड़ 200 एकड़, तो हार्डली उनके पास कोई 5 एकड़ हो गया, 10 एकड़ हो गया, 2 एकड़ है, 3 एकड़. तो उस सिचुएशन को देख के, बिकॉज दे हैव सेम स्मॉल लैंड होल्डिंग, सो दे गो फॉर दोज टाइप ऑफ क्रॉपिंग पैटर्न. उसके लिए जाते हैं जो उनको फायदा मिले, जहां से वो समझते हैं दे आर अर्न मोर मोर. सो दैट्स व्हाई दे आर बीइंग द चॉइस ऑफ क्रॉप्स, the diversity of cropping and the area under different crops are depend on the soil condition. So these are the factors which are always been influenced. So if you remember, we also been talk about we also been talk about the components which control the agriculture. So which are the components? We have a climate, we have a soil, a water availability, and the physiography of that area. So these are also being soil condition, temperature, rainfall. So yes, crop price structure, labor availability, capital marketing and transport facilities, so as well as terrain, topography and slope. So these are the things or components or factors which have influence on the cropping pattern. So the choice you do for the crops, or you go for the certain type of crops, it depends on your soil condition. वहां पे गर्मी कितनी है, बरसात का पानी कितना है, प्राइसेस क्या है, लेबर अवेलेबल कितना है, कैपिटल मार्केट में आपको पैसा मिलेगा उससे नहीं मिलेगा, ट्रांसपोर्ट फैसिलिटी आपके पास है या नहीं है, या उस जगह की टेरेन कैसी है, टोपोग्राफी कैसी है, उसके वो देखने में कैसी है जमीन, और उसका स्लोप कैसा है. सो विद क्लाइमेट्स कैरेक्टराइज इंक्रीजली बाय हायर टेम्परेचर, एरेटिक रेनफॉल एंड मोर फ्रीक्वेंट वेदर एक्सट्रीम, cropping pattern decisions are the utmost important for the risk mitigation and adaptation. So when you go for any particular cropping pattern, you will have to keep in mind all these components. So you will have to save your production from the risk. So you don't want to go for the risk. So you always have a want to go for the improvement of that area. तो आप वो cropping pattern करेंगे जो आप जिसमें कोई risk ना हो. तो ये आपका डिसीजन इन सारी चीजों को देख के बाद होता है. सो इन पर्टिकुलर फार्मर्स इन recent times have faced increasing aridity, more erratic rainfall and predictable energy shortage, challenges that undoubtedly impact on their decision regarding the type and extent of crop to grow. So now the challenges are being enhanced. There are more challenges because latest climate change, variation in the in the rainfall, unpredictability, and the other market challenges. They are also being a constraint on the part of farmers. So farmers, they are being in very tight zone where sometimes they don't get any benefit even if they are been going for any particular crop pattern. So these are the factors which are being influencing, as I told you before, the farming systems. So soil factors of soil including texture, depth, slope, erosion, pH scale, fertility, mineral nutrients, alkalinity, salinity, acidity, and drainage. So not only you see the what type of soil you have, you also see the texture, size of the soil. You see the slope, erosion, whether वहाँ पे erosion होगी नहीं होगी. You will also see the fertility of soil, nutrients, alkalinity, salinity. Then we have a climate. Climate, you have temperature, precipitation, irrigation, soil radiation, humidity, winds, storms, air pollution. You have to keep all these plans. So resources, factors like capitals, kitna paisa, labor, mazdoor, seed, fertilizers, insecticide, farm, technology, storage facilities. So you will also see the resources that you have resources or you don't have resources. So you have a capital, पैसा है नहीं है, मजदूर हैं, insecticide, pesticide, वो जो दवाएं हैं which is being always used for the killing of the insects and weeds. Also you have a machinery which has been required and technology, and you have a storage facilities, capability of plants and animals, the genetic potential and production of selected animals and plants in relation to the selected place for setting up to the farms. This is also being talked about the livestock, whether you can keep that livestock or don't. So you will also be look at the what type of crop you have, then you will go for the those animals. Ecology, in ecology we have a crops, pests, pests, trees, animals, birds, and disease, and other selected location for setting up the farms. You also see the location ecology of that particular land area, then we go for. So also we have a social and political and economic factors which always been whether you will get the return, whether it's the value or the cash in terms of money you are been getting, or what type of consumer choices there, demands or the farm inputs, how much you are being spending on the fertilizer and other things, and output prices, that how much you will earn from the production and also being transported. So these are the factors which are always being influencing the farming system of any particular area. So now I stop myself here. I will have another video, I'll say two more lectures on. One is on the agro-ecological zones of Pakistan. We will understand that on which part of Pakistan, which crops are being produced, and what are the climatic and physiographic and soil condition of that area. So we'll see the agro-ecological zones, different zones of Pakistan. And in the another lecture, we will also discuss the challenges. What are the challenges to the agriculture, particularly in Pakistan, and also the potentials and opportunities in the agriculture system of Pakistan. So please stay tuned with me, and also wait for the another lecture. So I'll continue from that where we have been leaving now. So if you like my lectures, please subscribe it for more videos. So thank you. See you very soon.